Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Welcome to Maya and Illusion, where we connect with our spirituality. This is your host, Maya Nair, a philosophy junkie with a deep desire to serve the world. I've come to know that knowledge is bliss and ignorance a blister. So let's drop our suffering and seek our infinite potential, shall we? Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Maya and Illusion podcast, and this is the episode number 9. Do you want this to be your autobiography? And I'm really excited for this episode, mainly because I get to sing today on the podcast. So if you're wondering what I'm going to sing, it's not a song, it's rather a verse from Bhaja Govindam. Bhaja Govindam is a spiritual text composed by Adi Shankaracharya, and it's a beautiful text. I absolutely love this text. Alright, so first I will chant the verse, then I will tell you the meaning of the verse, and then we'll get into the discussion of the verse. Alright, that's how it's going to go. So let's get into it. Let's just go for it. Balastavat krida saktah tarunastavat taruni saktah vriddhastavat chinta saktah parame brahmani kopena saktah bhaja govindam Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Okay, now I'm going to tell you the meaning of this verse. This is usually the story of our life. In childhood, we spend all of our time in play. In youth, we spend all of our time in pursuing love, relationships, and pleasures. In old age, we spend most of our time attached to worries and fears and anxiety. And no one has any time for being attached to the Lord. Well, that was the short version of the meaning of this verse. Now let's, dive deep in and try to understand every aspect of this verse. Life is really short, right? I mean, we just have a few years on this planet Earth. So, isn't it important that we invest our time in the right things? I mean, think about it, okay? As the verse says, we spend most of our time, like childhood, either going to school, just playing around, just I'm not going to say waste our time, but not really use our time to the fullest. And then we go into the youth. And in the youth, we pursue pleasures and just, have fun, party, enjoy. And when we go into adulthood, we start doing our jobs. We spend most of our time doing jobs, getting paid for stuff that, I don't know, maybe a lot of us don't enjoy our jobs, and we just keep doing it just for the money so that we can go and enjoy somewhere else, buy stuff. And I find that we lack some sort of meaning in life. And it's okay if you don't want to. I mean, I believe that people want to have a meaningful life, but if that's not what you want to pursue, then that's okay. No judgments. But I personally feel like a meaningful life is something so much greater than a life with a lot of money or anything. As long as I'm serving people, as long as I am doing things that makes an impact in the world, something that inspires me to wake up and do something, then it's okay, it's meaningful, and I would do it. But I would never want to live a life where I'm just doing the same old stuff and investing my time in something that I'm not interested in just for the money. I mean, think about it. Is money everything? No, right? We are pursuing things that are impermanent, things that keep changing, For example, money itself. Money comes and money goes. It doesn't stay with you all the time. So we are pursuing something that just is not permanent. And we hope that it is permanent. Or even love, okay? We feel deeply about someone, or even friendship, like we feel deeply about someone, but then later on it just fades off, and we try to seek happiness from the impermanent things of the world. See, the world is completely impermanent. Like everything is changing at every moment. And the kind of happiness that we seek is permanent happiness. We want something to give you happiness forever. But how is that possible? If something is impermanent, how can it give you permanent happiness, right? So we are seeking happiness in the wrong places. And we are investing our precious limited time on things that are completely meaningless. Like, just think about it, okay? When you were a kid, you spent a lot of time playing with dolls or toys and all of that, right? And then when you transitioned into teenage or youth, you dropped those toys and those play items because it did not give you happiness anymore. So what I'm really suggesting is that if you want to create a change in your life, if you want to create a story that is different, that is not the same old attachment to impermanent things, then what we really need to do is invest in something that is more permanent. Invest in something that would help us grow and have changes that are really meaningful and impactful in our own lives. So what is an alternate autobiography that we could write for ourselves? So here's what I suggest. And this is definitely inspired from the camp that I had attended, which was on Bhaja Govindam. So here's the alternate autobiography that we could write for ourselves. In childhood, let's invest ourselves in the pursuit of knowledge. Childhood is a time where we are curious, our brains are developing. So if you are listening to this and you have a kid, or if you know someone who has a kid, then I would suggest you to encourage that parent to invest their child's time on education, on gaining knowledge. And when I say education, I just don't mean going to school and stuff. I mean real education. The kind of education that would create an impact in a child's life. Teach the child values. Teach the child how to live a meaningful life. Because Gurudev used to say this. Catch them when they are young. Because that's the time when they are the most impressionable. You can change someone's life the most when they are a kid, because at this point they want to learn, they want to know about this world they are in. And when you put the good stuff into them, they will definitely grow up to be beautiful, amazing human beings. In youth, we need to invest ourselves in the pursuit of discipline, because this is the time when we have to set ourselves up for success. It's the launch pad. Youth is the time where we have the most energy, and when we direct our energy toward discipline, then we live the most amazing life. I know discipline sounds like a very boring thing, but honestly, if you are disciplined, if you have control over your mind, you can win over the world. And I'm not kidding about this, guys. Like, in your youth, rather than partying, rather than spending time on pursuit of impermanent things, go in the pursuit of discipline. Discipline yourselves. Have big goals and go for it, because in this period in your life you are the most energetic. So your body and your mind, they're fresh, they want to do stuff. Youth are like the most powerful kind of people. I mean, not people, but it's the age group that is the most powerful and really dynamic. Youth equals dynamism. Finally, in your old age, attach yourselves to an accepting attitude. It's called Bhiksha. So now that you have lived your life, you have done everything that you had to, you've contributed yourself to the society, and now you have reached a point in your life where you are closer to death. It's almost like the end of your story on earth. So when you reach that end, you need to absorb yourself in an accepting attitude rather than worrying about, how kids are these days, or worrying about global warming and the other issues in the world. Have an accepting attitude. You've lived your life, you've done your best, you've seen the world, you've made an impact on the world. Now it's time for you to just enjoy the creation that you have had an opportunity to be a part of. So have an accepting attitude and just enjoy the few years that is left of your life in old age. So this is an alternate autobiography that you can write for yourself. And the key idea that I want to really reinforce is that everything around you is impermanent, guys. Like, no matter how much you think people, things, or money is going to give you happiness, it's going to give you happiness. Yes, it will. All of those things will. But it will not give you permanent happiness. And the kind of happiness that you're seeking is permanent. And if you want to seek permanent happiness, invest yourself in the pursuit of things that are real and more permanent, rather than things that are impermanent and temporary. Because that's going to leave you sad. That's going to leave you suffering, which we do not want. I also want to talk about the pursuit of the only permanent thing in the world, which is Brahman, the Lord Himself, the supreme reality. And honestly, it's not for everyone. Not everyone's going to be propelled to pursue that permanent, which is beyond our senses, which is beyond our comprehension. And for those rare ones, for those rare, beautiful beings who are willing to sacrifice everything to attain that permanent, they are going to attach themselves to the supreme, the reality that's beyond the senses. And when you attach yourselves to that reality, oh my God, you go beyond death and birth and this whole cycle of suffering and sorrow and happiness and joy. And that is truly the ultimate, the ultimate goal of life is moksha, or the attainment of the permanent. And as I said, it's not for everyone, but it's nice to know, it's nice to have an awareness that that is the ultimate goal. So the whole life that we experience is truly preparing ourselves for that moksha. And for some people it would happen in this birth, the attainment of moksha. For some people it won't, but that's okay. Take your time, because honestly, everything is as it's supposed to be. And we are here to learn and grow and be more of ourselves. It's almost like an unlearning process of all the conditioning, all the things that we have forgotten, so that we can truly be who we are. It's like the coal transitioning into diamond. Diamond is also carbon, coal is also carbon, but diamond is precious and it's adored. And it did not happen overnight, right? It took many years. And the carbon molecules had to undergo so much to attain that state of perfection, of being a diamond. right? So similarly for us also, ultimate goal in our life is the attainment of moksha. And for attainment of moksha, we have to continuously pursue the permanent, whatever that is, going from all these impermanent things of the world to something that is more concrete, the values of life, discipline, all of that, knowledge. I really hope that this episode brings you a lot more understanding of, the concept of permanent and impermanent, and the fact that the world that we see is completely impermanent. And true joy is beyond. It's beyond all of this. In this changing world, the only thing that's permanent is the Lord. So ultimately, what we are really seeking, that permanent that we are truly seeking, is the ultimate reality, the Lord Himself. And one day you and I will realize that. And when we do, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. You know what, guys? I'm not suggesting that we don't enjoy the world. I'm not suggesting, become a Swami and renounce everything and just go into a cave. I'm not saying that. What I'm really saying is that don't get attached to the things of the world, because, as I said, it's all impermanent. It's gonna give you happiness for a while, and then when you take it out of your hand, it's going to make you feel extremely bad. And I have a story I want to tell you. So there was this man, and he was having a bath in the river. And suddenly he saw this golden walking stick floating by. So he saw it and he got so excited, and he was like, I want to get it. And he swims toward it, and then he takes it, okay? And then he takes it home with him, the golden stick. And he was like, wow, I have a golden stick with me right now. And he was really happy. And what happened that night was, a thief came into his house, and the thief stole his golden stick. And the man woke up the next morning, and he was startled to see that his golden stick was gone. And he was completely miserable. He was just like weeping and crying the whole day. Aren't we all like that man? We unexpectedly get something, or we get something from the world, and then when it's taken away from us, we start crying. But it wasn't ours in the beginning. Nothing belongs to us. Nothing in this world belongs to us. We are like vacationers, We have come to a hotel room. We're staying here for a while, and then we're gonna go off. And we don't take anything with us. We don't take the bed. We don't take the mattress. We don't take anything with us. And we don't need to. So while we are here, enjoy the stuff that we get to enjoy. Completely. I'm not saying do not enjoy. Go ahead, enjoy. Just don't get attached to it. And don't go in the pursuit of all these impermanent things. Rather, pursue the things that are permanent. Pursue the things that make you more of yourself, more of that infinite being that you truly are. Finally, I want to end on this note. At the end of the day, nothing truly belongs to you. You're a traveler through time. You're going to be here only for a while. So while it lasts, enjoy the good stuff without getting attached to it. Invest yourself in the pursuit of the permanent. That's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, you can go ahead and leave a review on iTunes. That would be amazing. And subscribe to this podcast to get more awesome content. And if this inspired you, and if you think this might inspire someone, please go ahead and share it with people. And if you have any questions or suggestions for me, you can leave it over at my blog, which is www.myillusion.com, or you can connect with me over Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All the links would be in the show notes. And I am so glad to have spent this time with you. Thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for coming with me on this wonderful journey of self-development. I am so grateful to you. Have a great day. We'll talk soon.
Before I leave, I want to remind you that you are Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, and pure bliss. Everything else is Maya and illusion.